Hello everyone, so I welcome all of you, almost 97,000 star seeds, light workers and wanderers who are awakening the whole planet to this session. And in today's session, I have channeled the Galactic Federation to answer the queries which many of you had placed. The first query is about what is happening with the Euphrates River. Now, if you don't know what's actually happening, let me just give you a brief summary. Actually, what is happening is that the Euphrates River is drying up. Okay, that's right. The Euphrates River seems to be drying up, and apparently this was written in the Bible which is amazing, right? I mean, it's like a prediction which actually is happening. So it was written in the Bible, and there were several verses which mention the Euphrates River, and I will just show you a few of the verses. So let me just check. Okay, the first verse wherein they talk about this is Revelation 16:12. Okay, in that they talk about the sixth angel poured out his bowl on the great river Euphrates, and its water was dried up to prepare the way for the kings from the east. So this was written, and there are other verses as well regarding the Euphrates River. So I think, it was very important to ask what is happening regarding this. You will understand that the drying up of the Euphrates River actually changes everything about ascension. It's amazing. So it is revealed in the session about this. So what is going to happen is revealed. The other thing that I have asked about is many of you wanted to know methods which we can use to connect with our higher self, with your higher self. So they have given 5 ways which we can actually connect with a higher self, and this is a really simple process of connecting with higher self. I found it really useful, so I hope you'll enjoy this session. And before the session begins, I want to say thank you to all of you who have joined me on the Patreon, because we have a meditation we are going to do on not only the 24th, but also I have a channeling course on a Patreon. So if you want to access that, you can join over here. And also thank you for liking the video, as it helps to reach out to other star seeds, light workers and wanderers just like us. With that being said, enjoy, my friends.
We are the Galactic Federation, and we now communicate through this instrument's vibration from our location in the Saturn planetary sphere, as recognized by the vibrations of your people. We, the Galactic Federation, are here to guide all of you at this time in this journey of recognizing about the true inner purpose, to align with the vibrations which will be of use to each one of you at this time. Furthermore, we, the Galactic Federation, shall warn each one who shall listen to our messages that our purpose for this communication through this mind-body-spirit complex is to allow each one of you the opportunity to experience a higher vibrational state of distortion, which will allow you to choose what is valid or invalid based upon your own inner experiences. Furthermore, the first query placed in the mind complex of this instrument relates to the vibratory sound complex location as Euphrates, as known by many of your people in your language terms. Furthermore, at this timeline, there is concern over the happenings which have been occurring at the location known as the Euphrates River. Furthermore, the Euphrates River, which, as we can sense, located in the location known as in your vibratory sound complex as Middle East, is considered as one of the longest rivers in the world. However, at this timeline, it seems to be drying up almost completely. Furthermore, we must state that there have been certain discoveries which are being found upon the receding water that have been discovering cave systems and other structures which have been found located under the river. Furthermore, many of those prophecies which were written in the booklets of your people, as known in your language terms as the Bible, and in the book of Revelations, there are many chapters, specifically chapter 9:14 through 9:15, wherein there have been predictions which were already made. The predictions state that it will release the 4 angels bound to the great river Euphrates, and it also states that the angels were released to kill 1/3 of all mankind. Therefore, we must state that, however, the statements which have been understood by your people are not accurate. We must now correct the intrusion using your own free will to either accept our thoughts or reject them. We must state that, according to the prophecy which is written in the booklets known in your vibratory sound complex as Bible, the Euphrates River drying up would cause massive changes at the end of 2.6 billion people crossing over from the planetary sphere. We must state that this is, however, an inaccurate representation of what is being said in this timeline. We must state that the drying up of the Euphrates River, in a true sense of your language terms, signifies that the new Earth will include approximately 2.6 billion people of your planets. Furthermore, this is possible as more and more people begin to awaken to the truth of their inner consciousness, and as they begin to realize about their own inner self in this timeline, to try and to understand the vibrations which happen available to the people of your planet, that there are many people who are awakening, and this symbolism of the Euphrates River will allow many others to awaken. This includes 1/3 of the population of the Earth planets in your current calculation terms, which is 2.6 billion, who will reach the vibration of love eventually as they begin to awaken more and more. This also signifies in a way the coming of the new Earth, and also it signifies the ending of the cycle of the old Earth. Furthermore, this process of the ending and the creation of the cycle of the planet Earth will allow for entities to not only receive the new vibration, but also they will find it becoming capable of receiving a higher level of understanding within the inner domain of the self. Within the Euphrates River, there will also be many artifacts which will be found. These artifacts primarily include those remnants of the old civilizations which have existed around this river. These artifacts may also be considered as rare materials by your people. And in the coming days, such artifacts will be found which will allow your people to understand greatly in detail a higher level of understanding of your existence in this planet. Further, the full process of graduation of the Earth planets will only happen after the time of 2030. Since up to the time of 2030 there are 2 timelines which are possible, as we have already stated in many previous sessions through this instrument's vibration sound complex. We shall now address the other query which relates with what are the 5 ways to connect with the higher self portion of each mind, body, and spirit complex in this timeline of your existence, we must state that there are many methods which can be used. However, we must also state that these methods which we are now going to provide will be the best methods which can be used by many of your mind, body, spirit complexes to communicate directly with the respective higher self social memory complex. The first method which we, the Galactic Federation, shall advise the people of your planet to focus on at this space-time experience is known as lucid dreaming, wherein the higher self social memory complex is able to communicate with the mind-body-spirit complex in the dream state, which is also considered by many of your people as the domain of your subconscious portion of the mind. Furthermore, in the state of consciousness when all other aspects of your conscious mind, such as the mind wherein you have inner thought forms, dialogues, and conscious judging of the outside illusion complex ceases, therein lies the creation of a moment which opens up the gateway to allow this communication to occur. It is also the stage which may be considered as close to sleep, known by your people as rabbit eye movement state, which is also seen in this type of sleep. Furthermore, in this portion of the activity, the brain is able to be active, however, the bodily complex is completely relaxed. This type of sleep is able to provide with a higher level of understanding and remembering of the dreams which occur during the REM sleep state, which is also crucial for each entity to understand about remembering their dream state. Furthermore, we must state that the higher self social memory complex of each entity represents unification in the sixth density consciousness, and many of you may use this process of calling upon your higher self prior to entering the sleep state and place questions which will allow you to take those questions to your higher self through the subconscious portions of the deep mind. Eventually, you can master this process and will receive answers. Furthermore, the other aspects as known by your people is to meditate or to focus on the inner silence. Furthermore, this type of meditation, if done by the mind-body-spirit complexes of your people, will allow your people to firstly enter into the silence of yourself, wherein each mind-body-spirit complex can truly connect with the deeper portions of the inner consciousness and connect with the deeper portions of the inner self. And once this connection is made with the deeper portions of the inner self, this connection will allow each entity to have a higher awareness and vibration which will be able to be opened up during such meditations. There is also a great understanding that any connection with any being can be made through the silence of the self, as all connections are but creations of the inner consciousness, and this connection will allow the higher self consciousness to connect with each other, and with the mind-body-spirit complex in this incarnation will be able to communicate at this time. Furthermore, there is another method which may be considered as an out-of-body experience as known in your vibration sound complex patterns by your people, which may be considered as astral projection, wherein the higher self, which is represented by the energetic consciousness of unification, the first stage required for this aspect is to transcend the identification with the physical body, the mind, and other aspects of incarnation at this time. Furthermore, in other words, when entities they realize that they are not the physical body, they will begin to comprehend the unification with all matter and all beings in the universe, and this will allow the higher self portion of the consciousness to have a deeper impact of connecting with the entity who is trying to astral project into the social memory complex consciousness of the higher self. This can be done via the process of sensing that the entity is able to not only become a part of the higher self social memory complex, but also is able to use this connection to consciously connect and sense how it feels like to be a member of the social memory complex of the sixth density higher self-consciousness. Furthermore, there is also another method which may be used by your people, and this method is known as, in your language system terms, as journaling or intuitive writing, wherein each mind-body-spirit complex desirous of using this method can ask certain questions, which then can be read, and attention placed upon such a question with the mind complex will eventually allow this question to be traveled to the higher self if the attention is placed at a rapid and for a long period of your space-time experience. Furthermore, and by letting go of the hand portion to allow the hand portion to write a message without any control will allow the connection with the higher self to be more strong in this timeline. The other aspect can be done via the process of using what is known by your people as imagination. As imagination, as known in your language terms, is one of the greatest aspects of your inner self, which is able to conjure any reality and is also able to allow you to experience the non-physical reality. Whatever can be sensed in the domain of imagination already exists in this incarnation reality. However, in the third density plane, the results of one's imagination are not seen rapidly, but they appear after a certain space-time continuum. Therefore, the receiving of such images and the receiving of such types of imaginative sequences allow for a energetic traveling of the entity's consciousness into the highest vibration of understanding about the inner self. Furthermore, this type of imagination sequences of connecting with the other reality is also a great way for learning how to communicate with the higher self social memory complex by your people. Using the imagination aspect, entities can begin to become a member of the higher self social memory complex and eventually understand how it is like to be a part of this aspect. Furthermore, we as the Galactic Federation must state that this is all we can sense and answer at this space-time. We leave you now, light and love of the One Creator. Go forth, rejoice. Bye.
So my friends, after watching the session, I hope you have learned something about what happened with the Euphrates River actually signifies the coming of the new Earth, which is amazing. Basically, what the Galactic Federation said in this session is the drying up of the Euphrates River will allow, it's like a sign which is even written in the Bible. So I believe that, 2,000 years ago, during the time of Jesus Christ, they were able to sense the future timeline, and they were able to make a prediction which is actually happening. What it actually means is that the drying up of the Euphrates River will bring forth a higher level of awakening, and there will be more people who will awaken. So they said that there will be a total of 2.6 billion people who will awaken and be a part of the new Earth. And also they said that this is just a sign. The full process of entry into the new earth will happen only at the time of 2030, which we know from many of the previous sessions is the timeline which will allow all of us to actually enter into the new earth. It's the timeline for the great solar flash, which many of the people they have been talking about, and it is also mentioned in few of my sessions previously. So basically the thing is, the whole world is going to awaken. That's what the sign is, and it changes everything about ascension, because now I think there will be certain events which will awaken more and more people. Okay, so hopefully this will affect other people's consciousness more positively. And the other thing is, in the session they have described the 5 methods which we can use to connect with our higher self. The first one which was said is known as lucid dreaming. So I believe we can, during our lucid dream state, we can connect with our subconscious portion of the mind, and then we can even place questions which will eventually allow the question to be transported to the higher self, who can then answer the question. And the other one is through meditation. Okay, of course we all know that when we meditate, when we enter the silence, we have this enormous power. We have this connection with other reality, right? And then we can eventually, through the silence of the mind, by focusing on the vibration of our higher self, we can communicate directly. Okay. The other one that they have said is astral projection, which I found really interesting, because I feel that many of us during our dream state, we actually astral project, but we are not yet aware. So we can actually, in our dream state, through our astral projection process, we can connect with our higher self and then receive the messages directly, which can then be used for the process of communicating with our higher self. And then we have got the other one, which is known as journaling or writing. So you can use this process of journaling or writing, and I believe this is like automatic writing, wherein people they don't allow their conscious mind to interfere with what is being written, and they just allow this flow to happen. And in that they can, I believe, try to connect with the higher self and receive messages. So this is another way. And then we have got the other one, which is imagination. Most people, I believe, they are not aware that imagination is so powerful, and imagination is able to connect with other realities. So we can imagine certain things and it will happen in a future timeline, because imagination is like sensing the future timeline and bringing that timeline to us. So I believe with our imagination, if we imagine properly, we can actually connect with our higher self, which is one of the best ways to do that, right? Is to use our imaginative process to communicate with the higher self if you want to. And with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this session, and I want to say thank you to all of you for sending me requests for a past life to my email over here. I will help you out whenever I get free time. You can ask me about your past lives, your soul name, and your soul's purpose, as well as any other questions. I can help you out with that. And the other thing is, I want to say big thank you to all of you for getting the paperback version of the sessions, which is around 500 pages. If you want to, the link is on the description. And also I want to say thank you to all of you for joining me on Patreon, and where I upload 3 sessions a week. We do meditations. I have a channeling course as well. I hope you will enjoy it. And thank you so much, my friends. I hope you will enjoy this next video over here. Bye.